Hi, and welcome back to Yoga with Tim. Today we're going to do a full body yoga workout, but we're going to focus on integrating our gravitational line throughout the poses to help to turn on our core better. To find that, stand up on your feet. With your feet hip distance apart, open up your toes, open the soles of your feet, and then lean forward towards your toes, and then back towards your heels. Now balance right in between. With your right and your left foot, make sure you're not twisted to the inside or outside of the foot. And as you press to your center heel, big toe mound and little toe mound, feel yourself balance right over the front of your ankle. Then maintaining that line, raise your arms up. Just notice when your arms go up, if your body wants to sink forward or lean back anywhere, reach down, straight down through the heels and the toe mounds and stretch up past your fingers. Then twist to your right and spread your arms. Come back up, twist to your left, back up to the right, back up to the left. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, spread your arms and tip forward. Inhale into a flat back. Step back into a plank position. So now you want to find, as you hold in plank, that you're long in the ankle line. Nothing's sinking below, nothing's lifting above. As you push down into the hands, lift up on the inner arms and spread your collarbones, but don't let your middle sink at all. And then challenging your body's ability to hold this, bring your right knee up. Change, bring your left knee up. Stretch that leg back, lower down onto your belly. Inhale into low cobra. And the reason why I think low cobra is a superior pose to up dog as you're warming up is because when you're in low cobra, you can really open up the shoulders and the chest. In up dog, there's going to be a tendency for the shoulders to round and the lower back to take the burden. And we don't need to do any more of that. Instead, we want to really focus on opening the chest and strengthening the back muscles. So roll your shoulder blades into their opposite back pockets. And as you reach your buttocks towards your heels, draw from your navel up. Lower your chest back down. Now with a strong core, keeping the spine long, not letting it sink or round, push straight up onto your hands and knees. And then stretch back into downward facing dog. Now in down dog, you're elongating your spine, making an inverted V shape. So instead of trying to jam your chest back towards your feet, instead reach your sternum towards your thumbs, turn your triceps down, and as you feel your shoulder blades broad on your back, push down through your toe mounds, stretch your thigh bones up and back. Walk your feet forward. Find a flat back, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Flat back, inhale. Step back, plank pose. Hold in your plank. Now with a straight leg, raise your right leg up an inch. Change, left leg up an inch. Set that foot down, then lower down slowly. Inhale into cobra. Roll the shoulders, reach your sternum forward. Lower your heart, press up on the hands and knees or straight up into plank. And stretch back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet to the front. Flat back, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step to plank. Hold strong in your plank. Left leg goes up an inch. Change, right leg up. Support your lumbar, so keep your navel drawing up to your heart. Change. and change. Engage your buttock towards your heel. Then lower down slowly onto your belly. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, stretch arms all the way forward. Turn your thumbs up, reach past your fingers, past your toes. Bend your arms back into cactus position and hold there like you're trying to lift your wrists and your forearms higher than your elbows, externally rotate. Feel in the back of the armpit shoulder the muscles engage. Spread your collarbones. Then stretch your arms straight back behind you, heart open. Lower your heart, press up, plank pose. Without the shoulders sinking in front of the chest, stretch back into downward facing dog. Then reach down through your left toe mounds as you raise your right leg up high. Bring your knee to your chest, shift into plank and pull up. Step your foot all the way up by your thumb. Drop your back knee down. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, raise the arms back up. Bring your hands down. Now as you press down through the center of that right heel bone, lift your back knee. Make sure your right hip stays on a track with your ankle. Float your arms back behind you. And find that line from your back ankle through your spine. Then buttock flush down as you lift up to the front of your pelvis. Raise your arms. Bring your hands down to your side, lean back out over your knee. Then plant your left hand. Push down through the hand. Lift up on the inner shoulder, inner arm. Spin your chest and take your arm up. Then look for the length again, just like you're doing a mountain, from your back ankle through your spine. You're not leaning forward, you're not leaning back. Bring your hand down and step back into plank pose. Optional chaturanga push-up, knees down or legs straight, your call, but keep your blades on your back and your spine long. Engage your core and your glutes and come back up. Stretch back into down dog. Raise your left leg up, inhale to reach up. Exhale the knee to the chest, pull up. Step your foot lightly up by your thumb. Lower your back knee down. Inhale, raise up. Pushing straight down through that center heel, keeping the knee on a track with the ankle and the hip. Bend into cactus. Arms back up. Bring your hands down. Curl your back toes, lift your back knee. As you press straight down through that heel, engage your outer hip, wake up the muscles of your spine, and then float your arms back. Buttock flush down as you lift through the front of the pelvis. Raise your arms up. Bring the hands back down, lean out, then set your right hand down and twist. As you twist open, push down through the inner hand, lift up on the inner arm, take your arm up. Feel that you're long through that mountain pose line. Instead of sinking in the back leg, pull up through the back thigh, lift up through your spine, energize your arms. Feel the arms spread instead of the arms sinking back behind you. Then bring your hand down and step into plank pose. Hold strong in your plank. Set your knees down. Now, collarbones broad, lower slowly to elbow height. Pause. Navel in, engage your glutes. Lift back up. Stretch back into down dog. Walk your feet forward to the front. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Sit your hips back into a chair. Scoop your navel up and raise your arms. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Step back, downward facing dog. Shift into plank, pull your knee up to your right armpit. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, step your foot up by your thumb. Press down through your heel, hug your hip in, raise your arms up. Bring your hands down, step back, plank pose. Stretch back into down dog. Shift into plank, pull your left knee up to your left armpit. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, step your foot up to your thumb. Push down through your heel. Lift your navel, come up. Hands down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Walk your feet to the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Sit back into chair pose. Stand Samastiti. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step into plank pose. Right knee to right armpit. Inhale, reach back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to chest. Step foot to thumb. Press down through the heel, hug hip in, come right up. Hands down, step back, plank pose. Left knee to left armpit. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, the knee to your chest. Step your foot. Pin your hip in. Lift your navel, come up. Hands down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Look in between your hands. Step walk or float up to the front. Inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Sit back, chair pose. Come up to stand, Samastiti. Press straight down through your left heel now. Find your gravitational line so you're not sink forward or slouching back. Bring your right heel up onto the inside of your left thigh. Join your palms together. Now we're gonna make it a little tricky. We're gonna try to add a little shoulder exercise. So interlock your fingers with your right index finger on top, and then start to pump your arms forward and back. And start to raise the hands up a little higher each time you extend. Feeling the collarbones broad, the arm bones gliding into the socket. Raise your arms straight up without losing your gravitational line over your left ankle. Bring your arms down, change legs. Press straight down through your right foot. Bring your left leg up. Bring your palms together. Interlock. And then start to stretch your arms forward and back. Holding the arms up as high as you can without your lower back sinking forward. So not borrowing from the lower back at all. Inner arms into the socket, but forearms stretch into the wrist, inner arms as long as they can be. Bring your hands down, release your leg down. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Flat back, inhale. Step back. Lower slowly. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot up. Warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Open up to your side, warrior two. So adjust your right thigh so that your knee is pointing in the same direction as your second and third toe. But press down through your feet, feel your lumbar spine tall. Back heel bone grounded as you reach through your back heel, keeping your lower back tall. See if you can melt your right thigh a little deeper. Then hands to your hips, tip your pelvis out over your thigh, reaching through your back heel. Find your gravitational line from your back ankle through your spine as you take your left arm over. Inhale, come back up. Straighten your right leg and reach into Trikonasana. Hand onto the shin or onto a block. Hand goes right underneath your shoulder. Now, just like when we're doing that twist, I want you to reach through the inner hand, plug up through the inner arm, and then spread your shoulders and hands away from each other instead of trying to yank your top arm back. If you want something to turn, spin from your navel up towards your left shoulder and turn your shoulders, your rib cage, but keep spreading the arms in opposite direction. Then left hand comes down. Spin the back heel up as you bend your right knee. We're going to come back into that twisted position. You ready for this? Push down through your hand. Spin and take your arm up. Lift up on the front of the shoulder. Then turn onto the outside edge of the back foot. Push down through your feet and hold here. Or step your right leg back for Vashisthasana. Again, spread the shoulders and the arms instead of trying to yank your top arm back. Bring your hand down, plank pose, dog pose, stretch back. Step your left foot, Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale your arms up, open to your side, Warrior 2. I like to do this little lift up before I start to lower, so I make sure I get the rotation of the thigh. Press down through your back heel. Feel your spine tall. Then tip from your pelvis out over your thigh. Bring your forearm down and take your arm over. Feel your mountain pose line. Reach into your back heel bone. Make sure nothing's sinking in front or behind of the back ankle. Instead of gripping the toes, can you open the toes, reach through your feet and come back up? Then left leg straight. Again, tip from your pelvis instead of hinging from your waist, and reach and put your hand down outside of the foot. I like the hand right underneath the shoulder, so as you put your hand underneath your shoulder, stretch down into the inner hand, plug up on the inner arm, and take your arm up. And as you push through your feet, see if you can start to lift the skin above your kneecaps without locking your shins towards the floor. The shin bones stay lifted as the skin above the knees draws up. Bring your right hand down. Spin your back heel up as you bend your left knee. As you plant that hand right underneath the shoulder, turn and take your arm up. Then turn onto the outside edges of the feet, hold there, or step your leg back. Press through the edges of the feet, engage the glutes and the core. Pull up through your crown. Slowly with control, come back into plank pose. Stretch into downward dog. Step your feet forward with the feet wrist distance apart. Big toes turn out slightly. We're going to come into broken elbow pose. Well, that's what it feels like. So you try to wiggle your shoulders deep under your legs. And with your hands pointed back, it's basically a malasana with your hands pointed back, dropping the buttocks towards the elbows. Try not to let the shins twist inward. Stay on the heels. Keep reaching the toes. And for sure, don't let the knees cave in at all. If this feels easy for you, stop bragging, okay? Just pretend like your hips are tight. Okay, now then straighten your legs. We're going to try one other variation. With the big toes together, you're going to lower the buttocks towards the heels. The heels come up. So those of you who are practicing Bakasana, crow pose, you can practice going to crow. Otherwise, arms stretched forward or hands locked behind your heels for 5 breaths. Crow pose people, you know, you hook the shins way up high by the armpits, bend the elbows, lean in and pick up. Once you're done with that whole scenario, stretch back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to the top. Inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Step your left leg back for Parsvottanasana. As you ground down through your center back heel, hands onto your lower back, knuckles together, shoulders open. You can do reverse prayer if the shoulders will handle, the wrists allow. Then navel to spine, start to lengthen out over your leg. Inhale, find a flat back, arms straight back. Step into warrior 3. Lower your left fingertips down. Block or floor. Turn and take your right arm up. Find the gravitation line from your back ankle through your spine, your mountain pose line. Connect into your right heel again, so you're not sinking into the joint. Feel the right hip balanced over the ankle, right hip strong. And then spread your shoulders instead of yanking your right arm behind you, just like we've been practicing. Inner hand, plug up. Then from here, step your left foot back about 3.5 feet. Hand right in front of the foot will come into twisted triangle. Bring your right hand down. Step back into downward facing dog or take a vinyasa. Walk your feet forward. Flat back inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Step your right foot back. Open up your chest, inhale. Exhale, start to lean forward. Inhale into a flat back, arms straight back. Step into warrior 3. If it's difficult to find the gravitational line, put your hands on blocks or on a chair seat. Hips level to the floor. Outer left hip strong. Then lower your right hand slow and controlled. Spin and take your left arm up. Feel that you haven't locked onto one side of the left foot. Put your weight even across the foot. Back leg strong through the line of the spine. Turn your rib cage as you stretch your arms. Then glide into twisted triangle. Bring your hand down, step back into downward dog, or take a vinyasa. Then set your knees down, set your elbows down too. At this point, feel free to practice headstand, Salamba Shirshasana, or as you press down into your forearms, turn your thumbs up, curl your toes, lift your knees and your hips up. Keeping your navel plugged up, raise your left leg up. Change, raise your right. Lower that leg down. Walk into plank on your forearms. Push down through your forearms. Navel up. Collarbones open. Slowly lower your hips down. Sphinx pose. Then come up onto your hands and your knees, and I want you to spread your shoulder blades and push them towards your elbows, and then let your shoulder blades sink into each other. Thumbs turned out, arms in external rotation. Spread your shoulder blades, push into your elbows. Let your shoulders sink into each other. Last time, spread your shoulder blades, push. Navel in, lift your knees. And lower your hips back down. Bend your knees, and if possible, reach back to take a hold of your feet. If it's too much on your knee or your lower back, then just clasp your hands instead of holding your feet. Move your hips down towards your heels. Start to stretch your chest. Lower your chest back down. Hands by your side ribs. Roll into upward facing dog. Stretch into down dog. Come to a seated position. Sit in Dandasana. Ground through your sit bones. Feel your spine elongate. Imagine your sit bones growing roots, and then each hemisphere of the brain balancing over its own sit bone. As much space as you can find between the brain and the sit bones. Then lie down onto your back. Take your legs straight up and do the same thing. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, you'll have to bend the knees to get the hips to stretch. Otherwise, the butt might pull up. So you can bend the knees as much as you need to. Otherwise, with straight legs, slowly lower your right leg halfway to the floor, keeping the hips reaching out of the back, the brain going the other way, and then see if you can lower the legs so it's just an inch above the floor. Change legs. Change legs. Change legs. Then both legs up. Shoulders stay open. Lower both legs a third of the way. Stretch the hips out of your back. Then see if you can lower another third of the way. Navel in, collarbones broad, neck free, neck long. Maybe a couple more inches. Bring your legs back up. Ooh wee. Lower the legs slowly a third of the way. Another third of the way. Brace in with your side ribs. Hug them in and down. See if you can go a couple more inches. And back up. 20 more. Lower a third of the way. Just kidding. Lower another third of the way. One more inch. Back up. Last one. Go as low as you can go. Hold the abdominals in. And legs up. Bend your knees. Press your feet down. And lift up into bridge. Grab a hold of the sides of your sticky mat. And as you roll the inner shoulders towards the outer shoulders down into the floor, feel the shoulder heads descend, the upper arm bones descend, and the blades plugging in. Engage the buttocks, move the buttocks towards the backs of the knees, and engage your hamstrings. Lower your hips back down, then take your feet the width of the mat, arms like cactus arms. Let your knees swivel over to the right as your hands fall back. Look to your left. Back up. Change sides. Back up. Change sides. Back up. Change sides. Come back to center. Hug your knees to your chest. Roll yourself up to seated. Then bring your left heel to the outside of your right hip and your right ankle to the outside of your left knee. Now you can sit up on a block if your hips and hamstrings are tight and you're slouching. Otherwise, sitting up straight and tall, holding your knee in. Actually, you know what? Just for moral support, I'm going to do this on the block with you because I feel like most people are going to need the block. Okay. Hook your left elbow around, kind of like a coat hanger arm, so that you can take the spine up. This other one's okay, but there's a tendency you can see that I tend to slouch, and it's a lot more difficult. Okay, you get it. Now keep your chest turned, and we'll do the counter rotation with the neck. Turn your nose forward. Come back to center and change sides. Straight down to the sit bones, brain tall up over the sit bones. Keep the rotation through your spine and your chest, but then up through the neck spine, start to turn your nose forward. Keep your head tall, but then look down over your nose. As if you're looking down on all those other YouTube yoga channels that don't practice mindful movement. Oh, how could you? Not even conscious of what's happening. Okay, then release that, come back to center. And then let me see if you can get the knees to cross. Sit up tall, and we'll practice Gomukhasana arms. Left hand behind the back, right arm up. Bend the right elbow and stretch the hands towards each other. Maybe bind or just pretend like you're binding and reach the elbows in opposite directions. Release that. Change the cross of your legs. And if the knees don't cross, you just go simple cross leg as best you can. Get that set up. Release that, and then lie on your back for final spinal twist. I think you're gonna like how this one feels because it's the best. Hug your right knee into your chest. Stretch out through your left heel. Open your right arm out to the side. And slowly let your knee go over to the left. Now I like to prop so that I can get a better opening through my shoulder and chest, but you can do it however you like. But I was going to say, but don't take my word for it. If you grew up in my era, that was from reading Rainbow. LeVar, I think his name was LeVar. He'd always tell you not to take his word for it. But he knew. He knew that you knew too, that he was right. Stretch through your hips out of your lower back. Come back to center. Yeah, you gotta take his word for it. Hug your left knee into your chest. Push through your right heel. You can have the block on the other side. Open the arm and let the knee go over. By the way, that theme song, that was for sure written by somebody that was tripping. He kind of grew up with a lot of kind of hippie stuff going on. That was cool. That was cool though. Open your shoulder, reach through your finger. Let the back of the shoulder descend. Feel the arm bone drop down. And release. You can spend another few minutes there with those ones. Savasana. Stretch your legs out. Turn your palms up. Just let your feet fall open now. Relax, let go. Let your eyes soften and release. Relax your jaw, your tongue. Let the shoulders drop. Feel the chest muscles open and spread. Abdomen soft, neck soft. Take a slightly fuller, deeper breath. Bend your knees. Roll over to the side. Press yourself up to seated. Bring the palms together. Namaste. All right. Thank you so much for joining today. If you can name the first 5 lyrics of the Reading Rainbow song below, then you get a free, so no, I didn't get anything. But okay, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button. Let me know that you like what you liked about it, what you'd like to see for next week. I love always hearing your suggestions, feedback, and Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.